Can you hear and see me okay? Now. Hello, hello, hello. Goodness, so many of you here. Hello. Hello. Don't worry if you don't have money to donate. You're supporting me just by being here. So that's all that matters. How is everybody doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. Camera lens goal. We hit the lens goal, but actually I had two fundraisers going. I had one for YouTube, and that was for the camera, and I had one for Twitch, which was for the lenses. So some exciting news is that today I went and bought the camera that I was after, which is a Canon camera, and so that's going to be coming pretty soon, and I'm going to try it out. And that's a really decent camera. It looks really good, and it comes with it comes with a lens that's very nice. But I'm also the other fundraiser that was set up at the same time. When I reach the goal of that, I'm going to invest in a better lens for it, or a different lens, because what I want is a macro lens and also like a wide angle lens. I forgot the name of what that's called, but anyways, that's what I want to invest in. So if I can reach the goal that I have of the 733, then I will invest in a better lens, or not necessarily a better one, just a macro lens where I can do close-ups. But yeah, it's really exciting. I bought the camera today, so I'm going to test that out and see how we go. So it's really cool. I can't wait to show you the video that I'm going to get from it. So this is a different fundraiser, so I hope that makes sense. And it's absolutely freezing, so I have my radiator right in front of my knees, so I'm gonna have to be careful in not knocking it over. Can you see fine? Perfect. Hello, Chris. Still sounds like egret to you. Yeah, but she's from Yorkshire, love. I'm from Lancashire. It's different. Hello, Fernando. Oh boy. So let me explain to you what I have here. The donate 5 for 1 card reading. I'm going to be using my Weight Rider tarot deck, and I'm going to do, if someone wants a 1 card reading, I may do 2 cards for that. It all depends on if we need a second card, so we'll see about the situation in which it arises. But with a 1 card reading, I'm going to stick to 22 major cards. Now, as most of you know, I'm doing a series on major cards at the moment, and I thought it would be nice to use a 1 card spread to delve into some of those major cards this evening. So I'll write it up here, and then you're not confused. So 5, 2, Major Arcana. So we're going to be looking at the archetypes. And so for this card, if we're just going to do a 1 card spread, then what I'd like to focus it on is, if I'm doing the reading for one of you, the best 1 card spreads aren't that common, but I think it would be nice to have, like, you can do like a card a day. If you're just getting into tarot, then a nice way to get into it would be to pull 1 card per day. And so we can do it as a card that you focus on for the rest of the day or for tomorrow. So 1 card spread. Focus or message. Message for the day. And then with a Celtic spread, I don't know if I'm going to have enough room to write all that out on there, but a Celtic cross spread for the 33 is 10 cards. 10 card Celtic cross spread. So that's obviously a bit more in depth of a reading. So I'll write that. In depth reading. What's funny is that I used to do Celtic cross spreads in the very beginning when I first started out with tarot reading, but they were so complicated and so in depth that I kind of just drew it back to 3 card spreads. But I figure it would make a really good stream if I were to do something like a Celtic cross, because you can go in depth about the cards, about the card spread, and I'll go through that with you if it comes up. For instance, you have the first card as representing the person or the querent who's asking the question, and then the second card is the obstacle which they face, and then the third is influences and yada yada yada. So we'll see if it comes up. But it was one of the first spreads that I ever learnt with with tarot. So it's a really good spread, and I'd love to do one for anyone interested. So I also have some, you've seen these probably on a video before, but I have these gods and goddesses cards, and they're really nice. They're very much, the thing is with tarot is that it's both positive and negative. Here's a picture of the first one, which is Goddess of Destruction. So with it being both positive and negative, you can have a good or a bad message come through, and it's very creates a very dual aspect to a spread. But with something like these types of cards, you have blessings rather than like a fortune telling. So these can be really nice as well for 1 card spreads or 3 card spreads, all depending. Each card is a god or a goddess, so they're really, really nice cards. So if you would prefer that to the weight rider, then okay. just gonna make the chat bigger if I can, because I can't read it very well. Okay, there's no option, so I'm going to have to read it like this. It's fine. Hello. Hello, Derek. Let's just start off with a card from this deck for this live stream. I think that'd be a nice way to start off, is to have a blessing for this live stream. Last time I did a live stream on YouTube was quite a while ago, I think. It was the Taiji, if I'm not mistaken. And that was about a month ago or so. It was quite a while ago. So it feels like a little while since I've been on YouTube. Live, that is. I just made part 2 of the tarot series that I'm doing. I did the next 3 and 4th cards in line, which is the High Priestess and Empress card. So that was really fun. So I'll be editing that pretty soon. What made me want to read tarot cards? Okay, the story behind me getting into tarot is quite a lengthy story, but I'll try and condense it down. When I was in college, I got into reading lots of books, lots of self-help books, because I was very lost as a teenager, as we all are at that age, I think. And it was this shining beacon of hope for me to be able to purchase books and read them on my dinner time breaks at college. And I came across a book which mentioned tarot. And all I can remember is that when the book was talking about tarot, when it was talking about what it is, how to use it, I was extremely fascinated by it, and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to buy myself a tarot deck. And I remember going to my mum's house the following weekend, and I mentioned it to my stepdad, and he happened to have some tarot cards, and so I was super excited about that, because I was just like, wow, you have tarot cards? Awesome, show them to me. I want to see what they are. And he did, and from there he recommended me. He recommended to me this book, 78 Degrees of Wisdom, and showed to me the Weight Rider deck, and I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. Tarot was my forefront of getting into spirituality, in fact. When I read this book and I was going through each card and what it meant, each archetype and what it meant, I was super immersed in the esoteric meanings behind each card, and I just started learning from there how to read cards, what they meant, and yeah, I think it was a saving grace for me, because through it I immersed myself in this spiritual understanding that didn't involve religion, because I was seeking something in that part of my life, in that time of my life. I was seeking some guidance, and I joined a church at the time, a Christian church, and I was feeling very it wasn't working for me. I was going to this Christian church every week, and there was just something about it that was not working for me. So when I found tarot, it was just this whole new world that I hadn't explored before, and here I am now today with it. So I spent a good amount of years not reading tarot cards, because I was afraid of the idea of reading someone's fortune. I didn't want it to come across like, I didn't quite understand the power of tarot cards, and how it really can be, just in its simplest form, a mechanism to get in touch with your subconscious mind or your unconscious mind and receive messages from your unconscious mind that would otherwise be difficult for you to attain. And it used to freak me out. I used to do readings for my friends, and I felt uncomfortable about it because I wasn't fully aware of how to set an intention and how to let the cards speak for themselves. Mike. A Celtic cross reading then, I suppose. I wasn't fully aware how to understand the cards. I understood them, but I was afraid of them. And 5 years later, I'm delving back into them. I mean, I've read I've read tarot cards for my patrons for a long time now, but recently I've been integrating them into my videos, and it's been fascinating to do so. So we're gonna do some readings for you now. For Mike. Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you. Did that add to the donation goal? It didn't. That's confusing. I have no idea why that didn't add. What I'll do is I'll take whatever donations come through. God, look at that spot. That's just right in the way, isn't it? I'll take it off the final donation goal and the crowdfunding that I have on GoFundMe. Whatever I reach tonight, I'm going to take off that goal so that we're just that little bit closer to buying me a lens for some ASMR videos. So. Oh, Dave. Goodness. Hi, Kim. I can't read that. I need my glasses. Where is it at? Let me have a look. Hi, Kim. I'd like a reading. Love your channel, especially recent nature vids. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you. I can certainly do you a 2-card reading if that sounds good to you. Okay, let's get to it. I don't know about that. Oh goodness, you would love a Celtic cross reading. Sure, I can do that. I'm gonna write his names down, and then we can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see the bottom. So I think, Mike, you were the first, right? You were the first. So 33, so Celtic cross. Celtic cross. Dave. If you do have a preference to which card you'd like, let me know now. It can either be the Gods and Goddesses cards or it can be the Weight Rider. But I was doing some blessings, so let me just finish that. I think it's a nice way to start off this stream. I feel like it's that one there. And what is it? It's Mother Earth. You saw me, I had my eyes closed. Bumi. Bumi. Oh, Bumi, you are girdled by the oceans, and the mountains are your breasts. O wife of Vishnu, I offer you my salutations. Forgive me for treading on you. And the blessings are fertility of land, expansion and growth, profusion of natural resources, protection of the natural environment. So that's our blessing for today. Put that. That's not gonna stay. So, Dave, you had a 10. So, I'll do 2 card. 2 or I'll do 3 card. I'll do 3 card for you. Past, present and future, if that sounds okay. 3 card spread. And finally, we shall do symbiote. Celtic cross. Oh, Will, hello. You donated. I'll do a 1 card spread for you. That sounds okay. Thank you so much. 1 card spread. Alrighty then. Let's get to it. I'm sorry if I'm dawdling. Well, it is ASMR after all, so it's nice and slow. Those cards are huge. This would be awesome. Hello, Matt. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It means a lot. Tarot of Aleister Crowley. I have got some Aleister Crowley cards, but we're not going to use them tonight. Don't you worry. Usually it does take a lot of time. Yeah, it does take a lot of time, so let's do it. Pendulum's accurate. Panasonic, I've never used a pendulum. Something I'm yet to delve into, in fact, so I couldn't tell you that, but I know that they are for a lot of people. Yeah, I know, right, Symbio. Would have been skeptical exactly it, Fernanda. That's why I'm doing this archetypal series on the tarot, because they relate to humans, our lives, our timeline on this earth immensely. So there's a lot of wisdom to be gained out of them. Celtic cross. So for the Celtic crosses, I'm going to use all of the major and minor cards. So the 78 cards. So I think the major cards are still at the front, so we're going to need to do a good shuffle. A good shuffle. Okay, so this first reading is for Mike. To keep it simple, I'm not going to get you to ask a question. Not on stream anyways. You can think of a question. And I'm going to set the intention for the cards to answer your question, or whatever it is that is most prevalent within your subconscious as of now. And I'm going to let the cards do the talking, I guess. So. Hello, Aiden. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to see you all here. I'm so used to doing Twitch streams that I forget what it's like to be on YouTube, and of course I get to see more people that I don't necessarily see on Twitch, so it's really nice. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to have to get myself some more magnets. Let me keep that on there. just want to write it out for you, for the Celtic cross. Make it a little bit simpler to understand. Hello, e-monster. Refer to them as if they are saying something to you too. Yes, indeed. So here's a little disclaimer, understanding about tarot in general. When it comes to doing a reading like this, I of course know that it is much better for me to be with you in person in order to do a reading, because the cards themselves will collect your energy when you're shuffling them, and it's potentially more accurate that way. However, distance readings such as this can be seen in two ways. First of all, I set my intention in that I ask the cards to show what it is you need to see, whoever the reading is for. That way they are going to give you personally a message. Second of all is that with me doing it over YouTube, you are, in its simplest understanding, going to understand the cards themselves. It's something that's more about the fun of reading tarot, understanding what the cards mean. So it's more for fun than anything. So, as I was saying, the archetypes especially, but also the minor cards as well, carry great significance in our lives. And if you understand the cards when they are shown to you, you can apply the wisdom and knowledge to your own life. So that's what we're going to do. So I have to think about now how I'm going to, let me see if I have some magnets I can use. I'm going to need 10. Got some big ass magnets here, so I'm going to use that to put the cards on the board. Universal message, indeed. Are we ready? So, querent, you in this situation. I'm going to use this first of all. The sun. The sun is a major card, and with it being a major card, to me major cards are unchangeable and they are fixed energies. They are the archetypes of the tarot, of our lives. And the sun represents all that is radiant, all that you can imagine that embodies the physical sun, but also all that powers life. So I think it's a beautiful card to get as a querent representing. It can represent you in the situation. Sorry, it can represent you as a whole, or it can represent a part of the situation. So whether you asked a question or whether you didn't, all depends on what this sun is representing. But here we can see that the sun is kind of a depiction to me of, I always think of the Garden of Eden when I see the sun card. You have a baby here who's riding a unicorn. No, not a unicorn, it's a horse. A white radiant horse flying this red banner. And the sun is all about illumination, it's all about reflecting that, bringing to the light all that is good within ourselves, all that is beautiful within who we are. The second card. Oh goodness, I hope I shuffled these right. Let me just check. I think we're going to do a bit more shuffling. I'm going to say that the sun is a nice representation of you. But I need to shuffle more. Those major cards. They're still in the way. If I can do, I don't know if I can. I'm not very good at the generic shuffling. It would be fine to have all major, but I want to include the minor cards because it makes sense to do that for a Celtic cross reading. Obstacle. Okay, the obstacle is another major, and it is the Hierophant. That which crosses you. The second card in the Celtic cross spread represents that which is your shadow aspect, in so to speak, that which potentially you need to pay more attention to within yourself, that which is one of your major struggles potentially. And the Hierophant is all about following society's ideals, following rules, so to speak, following an ideology that is supposedly meant to bring you closer to source energy, to what society would class as the good and righteous of the way of living, of a way of living in your life. So to me, the obstacle here would represent that which is difficult for you is structure and abiding rules and having external guidance, so to speak, in terms of how to live your life, how to it may be something that's deeper within you, something that is not necessarily prevalent or obvious to you in your everyday life. Having the Hierophant, I think, as an obstacle can represent that it's something that you struggle with is to follow society's ideals of what is right spiritually and morally in the world. The next card, the third card, is influences. Okay, so that's an interesting one. Sorry about the big magnets, there's not really much I can do about that. I should have got some more magnets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of swords. Swords now. Swords are a minor card. In the minor cards there are 4 elements: swords, wands, pentacles, cups. The swords represent the element air, which is all about your mind, your intellect. Swords generally as a suit represent that which is generally surrounding conflict. Because when you think about, to me, it represents our mind in our everyday life. It represents that which is how we function in the world. We think about things, we use our brains to understand. It's logic, it's the ego, it's all of that. And so with that comes great ability in that we are able to use our minds to do our everyday tasks in life, complete and go about our everyday workings. During our day, we have so much information to assimilate, and the swords to me represent both that which is good and bad about how our minds assimilate information. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 of swords. Let's take a look at the imagery, because when you're reading the tarot, the best way to learn is first of all through the imagery. What is the image depicting to you? What is the symbology representing? And here we see a man who is actually stealing some of the swords. This represents your conscious mind. He's also leaving some swords behind. Now, let's have a look what this book says about this card, so we can get a more in-depth understanding. The feeling to me is that of gaining some understanding from a situation and making sure to give credit to that space in which we learned it, but not fully accepting the fact that this information, whatever it is, this feeling, this understanding that's come from elsewhere, not fully taking in its message. It's like he's taking the swords with him, he's carrying this understanding with him, but he's not fully letting himself delve into the fact that it's come from another source, that it's come from potentially a divine source. Not necessarily always a divine source, but it can be from any source, you know, from a friend, from a family member, or potentially from angels, in fact. But it's not fully letting go of your egoic mind in when it comes to accepting or understanding the situation or something in your life that runs deeper. So let's have a look. It's an interesting card, and I haven't seen a reading with this card for a very long time, so my understanding of it could be way off, so please take what I say with a pinch of salt. So I'm on Swords 7. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. By the way guys, if I cannot get to your chat, I'm very sorry. You'll have to bear with me whilst I'm doing these spreads. They're incredibly in depth, and I wouldn't want the message to be misunderstood, so whilst I'm doing it, I'm going to immerse myself in that fully. 7. 7 of Swords. The theme of struggle continues. Here we see an image taking action against problems. Sometimes the card means simply a daring act, even a coup that takes the sting out of opposition. More often it stands for an impulsive act when a careful plan is required. The picture shows us someone grinning as he makes off with his enemy's weapons. He has not attacked the camp. He cannot even carry all the swords. The card implies schemes and actions that do not solve anything. Not as obvious, but sometimes more important, is the sense of isolation involved. He is acting alone, unable or unwilling to get anyone's help. Going a step further, this card can indicate craftiness, but with the flaw of habitually hiding, often for no reason, one's true plans or intentions. Let's pull some more cards and then we can see in reference to what this card might mean. Let me just check in on yous. How are we doing, everybody? My internet looks good. So good. Hello, Ramses. All of us here are one person being itself, so I guess it all applies. Yes. All mages on top. Yeah, so let's I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull out every card and I'm gonna make a judgment of what it means altogether, because we could be here forever. Hello, Toby. Tapping bliss in a little bit. Good. Got some more important things to get to right now, and that is the root. Subconscious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of Cups. Cups represent emotions. They represent water element. He's hiding himself in a drape here, as you can see. Let's just put this here. Hiding himself in a cape. He's not sure what to do with himself. But he's turned towards the cups that are spilled on the ground. However, this card represents looking at that which is lost, looking at that which has been spilled, so to speak. However, behind him stand 2 cups upright. And they represent this strong influence in the person's life, the strong influence of emotions that are stable, that are grounded. However, he's turned the other way, so we cannot see them right now. The 5 of Cups represents being able to see the situation in which you are in from a wider perspective. Being able to take a step back from being the from taking any situation in which arises in your life as personal. And he represents, this card reminds you to turn around and look at those other two cups that are standing. And also you see water, you see a castle in the background. There is life going on still. There is a deeper understanding, or behind the scenes there is an understanding that all is not lost. And then just because you have spilled 3 cups does not mean that all is lost. You simply have to turn around and see the silver lining behind every single situation in your life. Number 5 is the past. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of Wands is victory. It's a sense of victory. He is on a horse. Wands represent fire, the fire element. They relate to your passions. They have a sense of active, I would say Wands are very active. They're very all about doing something, all about achieving something, using that passion, using that will, that courage to achieve something. And that is very much what this card represents here. So 5, past. Wands also can represent conflict, which is kind of funny. Out of the minor cards, but they represent an inner conflict. Swords represent an inner conflict. Wands generally, in my mind, represent an outer conflict. Not necessarily conflict, that's actually probably the wrong word. It's more of a, it's that active nature. It's what I would class as a masculine energy. You have masculine energy, which is all about the active, being active, and you have feminine energy, which is all about being passive, being introverted, being intuitive, which is air and, I suppose earth is a bit of a balance, really. So, it says, as the Wands, so this is 6. Did I say 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. As the Wands progress down to the Ace, they become stronger. The emphasis shifts from problems to joy, from defensiveness to optimism, until with the Ace we become unified with the life-giving fire. The 6 marks the turning point. In the Golden Dawn system, the cards bears the title Victory. And we see, in fact, a victory parade, the hero crowned with a wreath and surrounded by his by his followers. However, he has not yet reached his destination. A fiction, of course. He could just as easily be coming home. I am following White Rider's lead on this. He's assuming victory, optimism, produces the very success it desires and expects. Often though certainly not always, it requires only a true belief in ourselves to find the energy to accomplish what we want. More, such belief will inspire others to follow us. 6s deal with the communication and gifts. Here is the fire belief in life that Wands give to people around them. Sure, Dave, I can do that. Thank you very much, Tom. I really appreciate that. Sixth card. Are we on to the 6? Yeah. Future. Knight of Wands. So we have another Wands. Whenever you get a double or triple or quadruple in a reading of the same suit, it makes that suit stronger. Again, disclaimer. The way that I read tarot is personal to me. It's my own understanding of the tarot, so everyone is different when it comes to understanding the cards, and that's what I think is so beautiful about them. This is why I use the book on occasion to define a meaning or understand a card, because it's a universal, it has universal definitions of the cards. But when I just go off my gut instinct, I'm drawing on a year's worth of understanding of what the cards mean. So subject to interpretation, but that's what I say, what makes tarot reading so fun. It's coming through the channel of my own subconscious, I guess you could say. So, Knight of Wands. Knight. There we go. Knight. Hello, Fire Gaming. Indeed. Here we go. Scribbled all over myself. That's attractive. Excuse me. So, the Knight. He represents eagerness, action, movement for its own sake, adventure and travel. Without some grounding influence, all this excitement can dissipate itself as he tries to fly in every direction at once. Allied to a sense of purpose and aided by some air-like influence of planning, the Knight of Wands can provide the energy and self-confidence for great achievement. His future, remember. Notice that on his shirt, the salamanders' tails do not touch their mouths, symbolizing incomplete action, unformed plans. In contrast to the king, the knight has only begun his adventures. 7. Attitude. The Tower. It's a major card. Attitude is that of change, is that of fearing change, new beginning. Let's represent this as an archetype. The strongest archetype I can think of when it comes to the tower is the Tower of Babel in the Bible. That which, when language came to humans, when a language was invented supposedly in the Bible, it shook up the very foundations of how we lived. It was terrifying for some people. It was scary. It was everything that's depicted in this card. However, this new foundation in which humans were being built or redefined as through language was providing them with a new way of expressing themselves, providing them with a new understanding of who they are. And So as much as the tarot represents that of change and upheaval and new beginnings, and it's scary, it represents that of potential, that of ground shaking, earth quaking, renewal, that changes everything. And so that is your attitude to this situation. So that's a cross, so that needs to be up there. So generally this is the cross, so this represents the person, and these next 4 cards represent the situation, the outer aspect of the situation. So let's use some of my magnets. There's a magnet. Tower. Okay, horrible music. No, maybe I want to stick around. Hello, thank you very much. Thank you. Quiet because it's making me think so deeply. I hope it can make sense to you, Mike. Okay. 8. 8 is environment. The Magician. The Magician. Second in line in the major cards. He points towards the heavens and points towards earth. He draws that which is from the higher parts of his subconscious, it comes from a higher place of being. You think of love, you think of something that is so untouchable, so pure in its vibration, in its feeling, that it cannot come from this. When you think of an emotion and where it originates, when you think of love and you think of fear, there's a scale between those two, and this is kind of what he represents here. Not necessarily that this is pointing to love and this is pointing to fear. He's pointing towards the earthly plane. He's pointing towards our reality. But he uses his wand to point towards the sky, to represent that which is metaphysical, that which is beyond the earthly plane. Environment. Potential in your environment. The 4 elements are right in front of you, there for you to use. Although he calls upon the elements, upon the higher source to understand a situation or himself, he has to use his second hand to put it into motion, to put it into active progression through work. It's the same thing as when you have an idea come to you, unless you act on said idea, unless you take the opportunity, the tangible know-how to make it work, to make it manifest in your reality, only then is it going to produce what you want. Dreams stay dreams unless we do something about them. But it's good to have the dreams in the first place, because a person with no dreams and no active progression in said dreams is very lost indeed, so it's always good to remember that. As long as you have an idea of where you want to get in your life, then it's a good start. But yes, your environment is allowing for that magician to work its magic. Hopes and fears, judgment. Hopes and fears. Sorry for the weird ass magnets. Let's pull these down. Judgment is the second to last major card. And it says here, I can find it. This call comes from both inside and outside us, for one of the effect of the sun was to break down the artificial barrier between inner experience and outer world. So we have the sun right here. Judgment carries a special significance. Whatever else is going on around you, there is a push, a call from within to make some important change. The change can refer to something mundane and immediate, or to an entire shift in the way a person looks at life, depending on the other cards and the subject of the reading. The important thing is the call. In effect, the person has already changed. The old situations, the old self has already died. It is simply a matter of recognizing it. Prior to this card, your hopes and fears, your environment is saying to you, you have the ability to act on what it is your heart desires. Your fear or your hope is that it is possible for you to do that, and as we just read here, it's talking about there is a push from within, a call to make a change. And it is possible for you to make that change. And so finally, outcome. It's another sword. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of swords. There's going to be a time of things standing still. We can see here he's in a church, some beautiful artwork in the background, but he is laying still as though he is a stone figurine, but in fact he's made out of metal. And the outcome is that of a slowing down period, a time that things stay the same. It can almost seem like a death, so to speak, but it is not. It is just a time of standing still. I think it's interesting that we have swords and wands, was it? Yes, wands. Fire and air, and then we have the rest as major cards apart from the cups. Yeah. So 3, 4 of swords. Let's see what it says. Fours relate to stabilization. For the unhappy swords, this translates as rest or even just retreat. The image shows not death but withdrawal. People sometimes respond to difficulties by isolating themselves, literally hiding in their houses, or simply flattening their emotional reactions to hide inside themselves. This card once appeared in a reading for a man accustomed to dealing forcefully with everyone around him. The card showed him that when His aggressiveness failed, but when his confident mask grew too heavy for him, he hid from the world rather than show his other side or try to work with other people. Withdrawal, however, can also lead to healing. If the purpose is not to hide but to recoup strength, the card can mean holding back from a fight until there is a better chance of winning. Similarly, by withdrawing for a time after some deep hurt, a person gives him or herself a chance to recover. Notice that the knight lies in a church, and that the window shows Christ giving a healing blessing to a supplicant. The imagery suggests the Fisher King of the Grail legend, whose physical wound mirrored the spiritual sickness of the kingdom. The picture also recalls Sleeping Beauty. Both these figures needed outsiders to awaken them. The king lay ill until Galahad brought the Grail's blessing, and the princess, symbol of neurotic fear of life, remained asleep until the prince, refusing to be stopped by the fence of thorns, the neurotic will use the force of her or his personality to set up barriers against other people, roused her through sexual life energy. In the Disney version, he kisses her. In folk tales, he has intercourse with her. Withdrawal, even for a purpose of recovery, can shut a person off from the world, creating a kind of spell only outside energy can break. It's a very interesting group of cards. I think the two to focus on, if I was going to pick a way to understand the spread, is to look at, so we have Knight of Wands and Swords. Those are quite contradictory. So what I would say is that it's about finding balance between these two cards, about finding that active progression towards your goals, and about knowing when it's time to sit back, let what it is you've made known as your desires and your wishes for the future, let those two energies come together in that you've made your wants known to the universe through this active participation in doing what it is you like and practicing more of what it is you love, as well as knowing when there's a time to take a step backwards, not backwards, but take a step back and let your environment and the universe unfold and go with the flow, and not have to do something all the time in order to be always making progress. There's forces behind all of our lives that are constantly in the background, that are making things come into our lives, and so just, we never know what opportunities may arise in our world, so we should never worry that we are not doing enough in order to reach our goals and reach our potential, as long as we're doing as much as we can to reach a state of satisfaction in our lives, of the fact that we're constantly striving towards what it is we really want to do in our lives and the person we want to be and express. As long as we make active choices to do that every single day, even just for a few moments, whether it's just doing some meditation for 5 minutes, or doing some art one day, or whatever it is, whatever that means to you. As long as you're doing that, you're doing as much as you possibly can. And the rest is going to take you to a space of just allowing that to happen. Being still, being calm, and allowing whatever is going to unfold in your life happen. Because at the end of the day, there is always going to be something coming your way that is going to call you to something new, something exciting, and you don't have to do all of the work yourself. You just have to let it be sometimes in life, and things will work out. Okay, we're done. Dave, I'm gonna do a 2-card spread, maybe. No, I'll do past, present and future for you. But I'll keep it short, because I recognise that this is probably more in depth than what many of you are used to, and I don't want to confuse you all, so... Dave, are you still there, Dave? Dave, hello, are you still there? Do you want a reading? I hope so. But you will have to talk to me if you're there, because I don't want to do a reading if you're not. Sorry it takes so long to do a Celtic cross, but it's an in-depth reading, so no two ways about it really. But I hope some of that was useful to all of you. Just in understanding what the cards mean. All these bloody magnets. You're welcome, Mike. Welcome back. Hello, John. If Dave's not there, then maybe we'll move on to the next one until he comes back. Are you there, Dave? Disappeared. Oh, hello, Dean. Okie doke. Simbo, we'll do... Did you say you wanted Celtic Cross? Did you want it with Weight Rider? Tell you what I'll do. Since that took a while. In fact, I have no idea how long that was. But since it took a while, I'll just lay all the cards out, give a general understanding of what I think they mean, and then we can potentially delve into it. Sound good? Hello, Stonehenge. Still here. We'll do past, present and future for you then, Dave. Or DB Uptown. Thanks for sticking around. Past, Tower. Present, Magician. Future, Queen of Pentacles. Past could be that of a situation which was very, I'd go as far as to say traumatic for you. Very life-changing, good and bad, in a good and bad way. Something that changed you to your core, whether you're aware of it or not. Present. Magician again. Remember, major cards are unchangeable. They are the archetypes with which we call upon, we live through in our daily lives. And the magician is ever manifesting what we want in our world. You are in a space of manifesting what it is you want in your world. You are using your mind, whether in a conscious way or not, whether you know it or not, in a way to bring about what it is you really want in your world. The secret of the magician is that your thoughts are so incredibly powerful in your world. And if you use them in the right way, if you are conscious of your thoughts on a daily basis, moment to moment, you can be conscious of the fact that you are continuously bringing about your future through your thoughts. You are manifesting your future, your present moment even, through your thoughts. The magician mind reminds us to use that space of balance, of equanimity, to understand life, to bring about what it is we truly desire, but not be attached to it. We can have desires for years upon years that we wish to happen in our world, but until we make the conscious decision that we are ready for, it's not necessarily a conscious decision, most likely it's a subconscious decision. It runs much deeper than we truly understand. Until we are truly ready for it, until it is something that is coerced by not only us but the universe, only then will it become a real manifestation in your world. The magician just reminds you to make your desires known to the universe and let go of any attachment to the outcome of said desires, of said manifestations. Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles is that of, well, it's a minor card. It's a court card as well. It is a queen, which represents the feminine, of course. The feminine aspect of Pentacles. Pentacles represent the earth element. Earth representing all that is tangible in our worlds, all that is your representation would be that of your relationships with people, that of your job, your environment, your money. She holds this pentacle. It's a representation of something physical, something tangible. And she looks upon it in in a sense of peace, but also in a sense of awe. The future. The future is of you seeing what it is you have manifested in your world through the wisdom of any struggles you have taken part in your world. Through struggle comes wisdom. Through that wisdom, you have gained an understanding of how to navigate your life. And now, or in the future, comes a space, a time of reflecting upon all that you are and all that you have attained materially. Materially. Is that a word? It is now. Materially in your world. It's a beautiful card. The foliage around her and the animals. There's a little rabbit there and some mountains in the background. It's beautiful. Let me read to you what the Queen of Pentacles is. Pentacles comes towards the end of the tarot. Look at that. It's represented as Magician. Well, related, should I say, to the Magician. Oops. Which we have on the board. And it says, more than with any other minor card, she represents a love for and unity with the world. The rabbit in the lower right-hand corner stands not only for sexual fertility, but also for spiritual fruitfulness of a life that has found its own rhythm and world around it. She knows and believes in herself and in the magic of her life. In readings, this quality of self-trust will often prove the most important. It says, if a king stands beside the fool, then the queen belongs with the magician. Like him, she wears a red robe over a white shirt. Leaves and flowers frame both of them. A yellow sky shines behind each. While the magician manipulates the forces hidden in the world, the Queen of Pentacles joins herself to those forces, allowing them to flow through her into her daily life. It's greater understanding of how to manifest in your world, of how to reach your desires in your world. Through strife, through practical application, you've come to an understanding, or you will do so. It's a nice spread. Okay, Symbio. Shall I do Will? If you're still there, Will, shall I do your one card reading before I do the Celtic Cross? Because that's going to take me a while. So if you're still there, holla in the chat and I'll do that for you first, okay? If that's alright with Symbio. Because that's going to take a little while. It's all good. How many of you are new to tarot and have never seen it before? Or perhaps, or only just, maybe this is your second or third time seeing it. Are there any? Times I just kind of zoned out listening to your voice. No worries, Derek. And the wisest on it. Fantastic. It's my pleasure. Oh goodness. Okay. I'm a little bit confused because when I go on to the donations thing, the name is Will. But of course now I recognise that your name might not be the same on the chat. So Nicholas, is that you? This needs to be a better setup because I'm not quite sure if that's you or not. Is Will, okay. So, you're Will. I'm gonna trust you with that. You watch this girl on Twitch do tarot. This girl, eh? You mean the cat's mother? Okay. One card reading it is for you. It would be better to do a major card. So Will, what I'm gonna do, oh, am I gonna do that though? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a major for a one card spread. Maybe we'll see what card comes up, and if it needs more clarification, we'll pull another card. But we'll do a one card reading for you. And this one card reading can be something for you to focus on, an energy for you to focus on for the next few days, week, however long you feel is necessary. It's a message to you from the cards. So take it as you will. So you have to squeeze me in. Of course, fire gaming. Got all the time in the world, my love. What time is it actually? I say that. Yeah, no, we're good. Very good. Oh, what happened there? Yeah. There we go. Uptown girl. Every time I see your name, I keep singing Westlife. She's been living in a uptown world. Got 3 cards upside down. Yeah, I noticed that. She never had a backstroke. You know, it was really freaking cold before when I came into here. It's all set up like eerie, tarry, reading little cove. And just there, I could see the moon. But it wasn't like, because the moon at this time of night is at the front of the house. So I was seeing the reflection of this window against that window, against the front window. So I was seeing a 3-tier reflection of the moon in my window here. It was super cool. But it's gone now. It went a long time ago. Okay, so this is for you, Will. A 1 card reading for you to focus on. Message. If any of you do want the gods and goddesses cards, say so. I can do that. Hi Gaming. Hi. What's it say? Yay Tarot on YouTube instead. Instead of Twitch, new months, new readings, sounds like a plan to me. That's perfect for gaming. It's a nice idea. A message for the month, eh? I'll write that down for you. Message for the month. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody so far for being with me and for requesting these readings. It's really helping me to do this more often live. As I say, for a long time I scared away from doing tarot for people, but I feel that the messages wanting to come through, and it feels profound to me to be able to express what it is I've learned through the tarot, as well as what I'm channeling in this moment. I kind of just let myself go with it, and it's really liberating for me to do so. So, one card. It's a shame about the camera goal there. I don't know why that doesn't work. Take it off. But I'll count up the donations at the end and we'll see if we will be closer. That's for sure. Super moon coming this weekend. That's going to be awesome. I hope to see it. If the card comes out one way or the other upside down, represents the negative side. I don't do reversed readings. I'm guessing you're probably aware of that by now, but I don't do them. I don't know. It just feels wrong to me to do reversed, but again, each to their own. So. King of Cups. Can you see it? There we go. It's focused. King of Cups. He's holding the chalice in one hand, and it looks like he's holding a wand in the other. King of Emotions. King of Let's see what the book says about it. So, an energy for you to focus on for this time. An energy which may be with you, within you, a part of you, or that which you need to cultivate more of. We'll see what this is about it. King of Wands, he represents his suit in terms of social responsibility. Accomplishments and maturity. And like the Fire King, his position as maintainer of society does not fit him all that comfortably. Cups symbolise the creative imagination, and to achieve success, he has had to discipline and even suppress his dreams. The fish symbolises creativity, hangs around his neck, but as an artificial ornament. He has directed his creative powers into socially responsible achievements. Waite describes him as a man of business, law, and divinity. In a sense, he has matured his suit, but water demands to flow, not to be confined. Behind his throne, a live fish jumps through the waves, signifying that creative imagination remains alive when pushed to the background. Similarly, his throne floats on the lively sea, yet as himself does not touch the water, indicating that his achievements derives ultimately from creativity, though he has shaped his life in such a way as to separate him from his own playful poet-like imagination. In his extreme, the imagery suggests someone who has dammed up his or her emotions and imagination. It also shows more gently a person who expresses these qualities, but not as central to his or her life. Responsibility comes before self-expression. The king does not look at his cup, rather he holds it in the same way he holds his scepter, symbol of power. Some commentators see the king as a person of troubled emotions, even anger and violence, who habitually suppress these feelings even from himself, or as maintaining a calm exterior. In some contexts, especially the arts, the king takes on a very different meaning. Because he is the leader of his suit, he can symbolize success, achievement, mastery, and maturity in artistic work. Potentially, this card points towards the fact that you are a very emotional person. You have a very attuned way of expressing yourself through your emotions, but you don't necessarily always find a way to do that. Perhaps some part of you feels guilty for expressing so much emotion in the world to yourself or to others. And it's funny because before I read that, I wanted to talk about the fact that this cups to me represent feminine energy. They represent emotions. They represent water, which is the unconscious, and so it embodies a feminine energy. But this card is so, it's a king. He's on a throne, and the way he is sat is so sort of just like stable, but guarded. His hands are sort of holding these chalices, and they're guarded, and he's on this wave. He's riding this wave of emotion, but he's doing so in a bit of a stagnant way. He's not fully in touch with his emotions. No part of him is touching the water. No part of him is in tune with his emotion. Sorry, I say no part of him. He is in tune with his emotions. You are in tune with your emotions. You know they're there. You understand them to an extent. It's just that you perhaps feel you need to guard them a little from people. Perfectly acceptable and understandable for you to want to do that. But for him to become the embodiment of all that he is, of his truth, of his emotional self, he simply needs to let go and ride the waves of emotion, ride the flow of the water. Not be afraid to let down your guard so much. That's what I got from it. Show a fire game in. Can do that. Oh, hi, Chet. Hello there. Would you like a reading, my dear? One card spread for you. So, Will, we just did Will's, didn't we? Where's... So we're gonna do Symbio's cross, and then we'll do yours after Fires, if that's okay, Chet. Hi, thank you. Thank you very much. Oakley doakley. Symbio. Crossbred. Message for today. It will be huge. I don't even know if YouTube can take how long this stream is going to be, to be honest. Better I'd do. Tarot takes a lot of explanation. Hello, Matt. I think we got it. I think we do. Yeah. One. The Querent. Three of Swords. It's a difficult card to first look at. It represents that of, or you would imagine, heartbreak, pain in your heart for some reason or another. Let's see what it could relate to. Two. This magician is there for everything. Two is obstacle, challenge. Manifesting. Oh, let's do two like that. Put that up. So yes, first card is a minor, Three of Swords. Second is a major. Third, influences, consciousness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pentacles. It's physical work. It's building something. Four is the root. Three of Wands. You can think of Alexander when he... Sorry. Yes, you can think of Alexander when he conquered the battle, or the world, and so to speak. He's looking on from his castle, seeing the boats leave the shore. He is looking on with the root. Number 5, the past. The sun. 6, the future, the fool. 7, attitude. Attitude, again a Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. These 2 people are outside of a church. It's clearly cold and they are struggling a little bit in this cold, yet they do not think to go inside of the church. Environment. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacles. 9, hopes and fears. Some more ones for you. Card of movement. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 of wands. Truly is a card of movement. Change of moving forward. These huge magnets for these tiny little cards. And that, and finally outcome. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 of swords. It's a painful looking card. Not all hope is lost. As gloomy as this card is, there is hope in this card. You see the horizon there? There is still light to be shed on the situation. Let's have a look. I have no more magnets. What's that about? Oh, here we go. Hi Sarah, thank you. Should make my own cards. I've thought about it, yeah, I will hopefully eventually get round to painting my own cards. Or drawing my own cards, we'll see. Alrighty then. Oh, beggars. I've just seen your donation, my love. I'm sorry that I don't see it straight away on stream. There's nothing to notify me, but donated 33. Would you like a Celtic cross then, beggars? If so, I'll write it down after fire and chat. Don't worry about it, Matthew. We'll do Celtic for you. If you like, or would you like 3 card spread? Whatever you want. Welcome back, Fire Gaming. Okay, so I just Symbio. I just want to get to your reading for you because there's a lot going on here, isn't there? Really, there's a lot going on. Oh, there we go. Oh, sweetheart, you didn't need to do that. Thank you, though. Thank you very much. Yeah, what would you like? Just let me know and I'll write it down so I don't forget. Celtic. Alrighty. You're next. Sorry, you're not next. You're last. We'll get there. 3 major cards. Your obstacle, your past, and your future. It's looking good, my dear. When you mix the Magician, the Sun, and the Fool together, I think those energies are that of they're all quite early in the major deck, in the tarot itself. They're all quite new energies. They speak of light, they speak of shedding this understanding on who you are, bringing this awareness of who you are into the light. We have 2 swords to work with here. Both of those, the majority of sword minor cards are painful because they relate to your intellect, they relate to your ego mind. And so there's pain there, there's strife there. I'm going to read to you what we have with the swords. Because we have 2 swords, we have 2 wands, and we have 3 pentacles. Swords. The 3 of Swords. Sorrow. Relating to a particular situation or to how you feel. The 3 most simply represent pain and heartbreak, yet for all its gloom, the picture brings a certain calm in the symmetry of swords. The true sorrow, we can make only one response: take the pain into our hearts, accept it and go beyond it. The 3 tells us that we must not push the pain away from us, but somehow take it deep inside us until it becomes transformed by courage and love. What I like about these spreads tonight is that I have something to work with. I have something to show you when it comes to the negative perspective of the tarot. There's no 2 ways about it. The tarot is going to represent both your shadow aspect and your positive aspect, and although it feels good and almost on occasion better to receive only good cards, positive cards, they set you in alignment with what you need to know. But when it comes to receiving a more negative card, they bring to the forefront that which needs attending to in your life, that which needs greater understanding in your character, and through that understanding you will become even stronger, even better than you can imagine. So that's why it's important to incorporate these cards, these negative cards, just in the same way that you would a positive one. That's disclaimer to all of you when it comes to any negative situation in your life. When a negative thing arises, perhaps something you don't like about yourself or a situation, ask, what is it this feeling is trying to teach me? What is it trying to show me about myself and who I am? How can I make it better? How can I transform it into that of something positive, into that of courage and love? It says, once in a reading for myself after a death in my family, the 3 of Swords came up crossed by the 3 of Cups. At first I thought this meant setting joy and friendship against sorrow. 2 cards of the same number, however, often mean transformation, and the crossing card often emerges from the first in some way. Look deeper into the meaning, into the reading. I saw the two as connected, not as opposed. Acceptance and love can turn pain into joyful memory and embracing of life. I'm going to look at the Three of Wands there, because I think that's an important card. Three of Wands, where are you? Oh, Wands come earlier, I think. Again, number 3. Says, because it joins 1 and 2 in a new reality, it indicates combinations and achievements. In each suit, it shows that element of its maturity. With wands, it becomes accomplishment. The figure is shown strong, but at rest, unthreatened. In the Three of Wands, we see first the Gate card, the suit of wands, with its emphasis on action. Metaphysically, the sea has always evoked in people a sense of vastness and mystery of the universe, while rivers symbolize the experience of the ego dissolving into that great sea. The boats represent that part of us which explores deep experience, while the man expresses the importance of rooting ourselves in ordinary reality before we attempt such metaphysical journeys. Significantly, it is the addition of water and earth in the form of sea and the rock which directs the images to fire's greatest potential. This meaning lies in the experience of merging with the picture until the boats carry us into the unknown areas of self. Says, for a person troubled or struggling with the past, the Three of Wands can indicate becoming at peace with his or her memories. Let's check this card. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Was it 10 of Swords? From the blue skies of the court cards to the black gloom of the ten and 9, just as the 10 of Cups showed overflowing, so the 10 of Swords fills us with pain. Despite the extreme picture, the card does not represent death or even especially violence. It signifies more of a reaction to problems than the problems themselves. It takes only one sword to kill someone. The 10 of Swords in a man's body, even including one in his ear, suggests hysteria and the adolescent attitude that no one has ever suffered so much as me, my life is over, and so on. Notice that the contrast to the 9. The sky clears in the distance, the black clouds give way to sunshine, and that in contrast to the 5 or the 2, the water lies placidly. The situation is not so bad as it looks. Well, when is it ever so bad as it looks? We are adept as human beings at looking at situations in our lives and thinking that it's the worst possible thing that could ever happen to us. We're adept at turning a trivial or mundane situation into something that is causing us so much pain, and thinking that we are on some level guilty of this or deserving of this pain, when really the pain is just in our egoic minds. It's all an illusion, because really what we're being offered is out of grace, of beauty, But that does not mean that we shouldn't experience the throes, the negative experiences of life, the yin yang. We simply need to become detached from it. Only then will we find greater stability in life, if we can detach from negative, positive, from the idea that I like this but I don't like this, I don't like that but I like this. If we can find a balance in our lives of how to live every day, not worrying about the fact that yes, I'm happy right now, but what's going to happen tomorrow? Maybe I'm going to change my mind, maybe something bad is going to happen. Fearing that the future of the unknown. When we do that, we put ourselves in that dual aspect of living. If we stay centered, do not get attached to, it's the Buddhist way of life. I think it's something that is important for us to cultivate more of. Experiencing joy when it comes into our world fully, but not attaching to it. Experiencing pain when it comes into our world, but not attaching to it. Lauren paused on it earlier. Let me check. All little helps. You did donate. Thank you for reminding. I'll do your 1 card spread then. So did you come before? You came after, so just before chat. So let's take, I'm going to do fire next, and then you donated. Lauren's pause, you donated before, so we'll do after fire if that's okay. I know the system's a bit rubbish tonight with the donations, with the system. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to keep it quiet for your ears. I know that I always wondered why at times you pronounce your R's almost like a West Country accent, not complaining. I don't know really. That's a very interesting, a very niche thing to notice, isn't it? Must just be the way I like to talk. I really don't know. But hello. Hello, Henry. See you later, Fernando. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out with me, with us. You ready for gaming? It's in my own. Hope that was okay for you. If you have any questions, then if anyone has questions, don't be afraid to ask. So, bye gaming. Let's get some of these cards in there. Have you ever had a tarot reading before? Out of curiosity. Sorry if that was loud. It's a pleasure. You think it might be a virus? I think you're okay. You'll be fine. What's your name on Twitch? Okay. Card for the month, you say? Card for the month. What were the cards? Ah, find him. There you go. I know you. I wonder if that's the card. You ready to see it? Just dropped out, so I'm going to take it as a yes. Ace of Pentacles. So, Pentacles again. We have Earth element. Aces are the strongest representation of the suit. They embody the full aspect of the suit. All that is good and bad about the suit, but mainly good. You have a hand issuing from the clouds here, as though offering a gift. And this little, I like this card because it reminds me of the secret garden. There's a garden in the background, and a little gateway into heaven, into Eden perhaps. Let's have a look, shall we? So what blessings you have. Ace of Pentacles, I think, is the very last card of the tarot. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, I'm right. It's the very last card. Interesting. The gift of earth, nature, wealth, security, and joyful life. On this ace alone, we see no yards falling from heaven. The earth, in its completeness and solid reality, bears its own magic. We have seen the other cards, how the magic will often remain hidden from us simply because we see its products as so ordinary. Here the hand gives its gift in a garden, a place sheltered from the wilderness seen beyond it. Civilization, when it works well, gives us its basic protection. Through the work of civilization, humanity shapes the raw material of nature into a safe and comfortable environment. Spiritual work leads us to recognize the magic in normal things, in both nature and civilization, and then to go beyond them to the greater knowledge symbolized by the mountains. The exit from the garden forms an arc very similar to the wreath of victory surrounding the world dancer. As the minor arcana comes to an end, the Ace of Pentacles shows us once more how when we are ready, the gate always opens to the truth. Fascinating. The magic is here on earth, friends. It's here with us every single day. We only need to recognize it, to work with it, make it our own. And the truth, the gate of truth, will be opened to us. Okay. That's your card for the month, Fire. Are you still there, Hopamong, Lawrence Boss? Are you still there? Do you want your reading? I'm sorry I missed it. Holla if you're there. Sally. Very good, thank you. How are you? You're welcome, Fire. Cool. Let's do this. It's a 1 card for you, right? It is a 1 card. Yeah, 1 card. Okie doke. And then we do Jet, and then we do Beggars. Okay. Okie dokie doke. See you later, guys. It's making me throwing me cards everywhere. What you doing? Bloody hell. Okay. Well, I think they were trying to speak to me. So here's the top card. I think that was all of them. Gosh, these cards are coming up the same. I mean, a lot of the same cards are coming up tonight. 5 cups. Kind of relates to what we were saying just now. The beauty of life is there only if we recognize it. So, something for you to explore, understand, is the 5 of Cups. The 5s concern struggle and sometimes pain. With Wands, we saw the advantage of competition. Cups shows the emotional reaction to loss. The picture depicts sorrow, but also acceptance. 3 cups lie spilled out, but 2 remain standing. Even if at the moment the figure concentrates on the 3. In readings, I have often seen this card linked to either the 3 of Cups as happiness or hope that has failed, or else the 3 of Swords. The Cups standing have often referred to the 2 of Cups, that is, support from a lover or friend. The woman or man, the androgynous character of the figure, indicates that sorrow unites the sexes, stands rigid, wrapped in black, the colour of grief. She needs to accept, or he needs to accept, that some happiness has suddenly vanished, been knocked over. She does not yet realise that something remains. For first, she must understand and accept the loss. Has she herself knocked over the cups, either through recklessness or by taking them for granted? In the sense of awareness, the card relates to justice, emblem of truth. In her pose, the costume, she resembles the hermit, who cloaks himself in wisdom to hold himself upright. The river represents the flow of sorrow, but the bridge symbolizes consciousness and determination. When she has accepted her loss, she can then turn, pick up the 2 remaining cups, and cross over the bridge to the house, symbol of stability and continuity. With its deep evocation of regret, the card It's the idea of heaven and hell, I guess. I hope that was useful to you. Or will prove to be. Alright. Alrighty then. Chet. You still there, my love? Chet. You ready for your one card? To not effectively randomise a deck of cards, how would you suggest I shuffle then, Mountain Hermit? Seeing as though your name has an archetype in there. Are you there, Chet? Oh, there you are. One card for you then, my dear. You're welcome. Cups is emotions. Think about working with your emotions in the next few days, understanding them, get to know them a bit better, and you'll be just fine. Play goldfish. Don't really know how I'd do that really with tarot, but maybe next time. Alright. Did you see it? It's the Hierophant. Your message for the day, for the week. The Hierophant. Let's look at his female counterpart. The High Priestess, she represents the moon. That reflective nature of our innermost self. Why is it we can't sleep at night? It's because when we go to bed, there is this undercurrent of energy that is all about reflecting on our day, on our lives, on what we want, what we don't want, everything. Everything comes to the surface when we go to bed at night. Well, it can do. For some of us, we just prop our head on the pillow and we're right off to sleep. For others, it's a time of insomnia. It's why we seek out ASMR perhaps. Or why we used to. I know I used to. I used to seek out ASMR because I had insomnia when I was younger. Because I just couldn't put my thoughts to sleep at all. So the High Priestess is all about that. It's all about tapping into that inner understanding of who we are. Tapping into that intuition that lies deep within us. Understanding ourselves and our lives from an introverted perspective. So if we take the High Priestess and her feminine expressions and understandings of our deeper selves, we take the Hierophant to be the masculine approach of this. The masculine approach that is the outer reflections of who we are in a society, in just our behaviours with others, in what it is we do for a living and who it is we are every day to the outer world. The Hierophant represents that. The Hierophant as an archetype represents a character in which we choose to follow. It can be that of a religious figure or an idol or a celebrity, or we all have them. We all have role models in our lives, whether we choose them or not. We all have someone we idolise. And the Hierophant represents that, especially that of spiritual significance. And with the Hierophant, it's all about adhering to social structure. So whereas the High Priestess is all about this untapped intuition that lies beyond the veil, the Hierophant lays it out plain and simple for you. Everything that you need to understand about yourself and about this life and about your society and your peers, he tries to represent as a central figure. And so we look to society to understand in ourselves what our purpose is, what our path is in this journey. And many people do find it through him, through our peers, through comparing ourselves to that which is external to us. He can represent a time to seek out a new endeavour, a new activity, a new group that you should join, be a part of something, whether it be spiritual or not, it can be anything. It can represent a time for you to look into doing that. Maybe some part of you is calling to join a group of some sort, but really the core message, to me, the core message is that you can get so far with following and adhering to society's ideas. Let's not say societies, because as much as it lays a platform for us, I think there is a heck of a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So when I say society, I'm not talking about turning on your television and listening to the news and looking at social media and following that as a guideline. Take that with a pinch of salt. Really what I'm talking about is look at your immediate environment. Look at the people that are surrounding you. Are they the types of people that you want as guiding forces in your life? And if they're not, you need to make a conscious decision to change that in your world. You need to make a conscious decision to let go of the people that do not inspire you in some way. Because by doing that, you're embodying the High Priestess in as far as you know what it is that your higher self truly needs in order to grow as a person. So you need to marry this masculine aspect with the feminine, with the High Priestess. Use both to find deeper meaning of who you are, what your path is. Integrate both. Be active. Go out into the world. Do things every day. Don't shy away from the world. The shadow aspect of the High Priestess, for example, is that she stays indoors too much. She becomes fearful of the world. You don't want that. You want to be out there, the Hierophant. You want to be experiencing life. Don't shy away from life. Don't be fearful of people. Marry the two together and you'll have the perfect combination. And you'll succeed in all your endeavours. Okay. Angel. Okay, Matthew. You ready for your Celtic cross? I don't know where this is coming from, honestly. This information that I'm giving to you is coming from the cards. There's no two ways about it. This is all new information to me, so... just pray that it makes sense to some of this, that it's useful, at the very least. I really got into ASMR because most ASMR artists all the time being practicals. Hello, I'm in Northern Ireland. Hello, Ricky. Hello to you in Northern Ireland. Welcome. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Celtic. Thanks for saying that, Matthew. Okay, your spread next. Didn't miss anything whilst I was rambling on, did I? It's a very rambly stream. Very rambly. Celtic. I look so annoyed. Probably was, Derek. Probably was. I don't remember that though. ASMR struggles, really. Okay, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to cut it and I'm going to let my hand hover and choose. Crisper. Lols. Right, so I've cut it into 3 and I'm going to choose Querent. One, two, three, four, five. 5 of swords. New pastures. Moving on to a new experience. You've chosen to do it. You know that it's good for you. But you're not necessarily looking forwards to what it is that you're going into. What I mean by that is, if you look at the picture, she's in a boat with her child or whatever, being led by this boatman, and the swords cover her view. There is a gap there, but she chooses not to look. It's knowing that you need to go forwards, but you're a little unsure of what's ahead of you, as we all are. But if you just look through those swords, you'll see that perhaps it's not so bad. But you'll never know that until you look. Querent. Next is obstacle. Obstacle. Page of swords. Oh gosh, Page of Swords. It's a nice feeling card for a sword. Look at him, he stands quite proud on the hill there. Almost flaunting his sword. There's birds, there's sky in the background. It's quite an innocent card, I think. I'm going to have to look at the meaning though. I'll do the whole thing first. 3 is influences consciousness. Seven of Pentacles. Looking at all that which you have developed in your world. Looking upon it in a grateful way. Some part of you is really happy with what it is you have achieved so far, with all that it is you've created. And so you should be. 3, 4. Root, subconscious, 2, 4, 6 of Pentacles. You're in a position of power. You or someone else with great influence in your life is in a position of stability, potentially monetarily wise, but just in a grounded aspect somehow. Something that is providing you with shelter, with comfort, with stability. There is a balanced state. You are in a balanced state and you are giving to others. You are giving openly to those that you feel need it. It is a generosity that you embody, but if you look at the scales he holds, it is also a balance that you embody. You or someone else with significant influence in your world. He's holding the scales, balancing out the rations he gives to other people. It's a balanced way of approaching giving to others. Past. Hierophant. Too funny. Do I need to say anything about that? Probably not. Future. The fall. It's twice it's come up for the future and spreads tonight. Oh, I usually put them on. No, it doesn't matter. I've got more. 7 is attitude. Attitude of strength. It's no more than needs to be said. It's truly that of strength. You have a good attitude towards your endeavours. A strong attitude of facing head on what it is you need to face about yourself, about life. Not shying away from it. Environment. The devil. Something is keeping you with shackles to it. That which is most likely material. The devil represents the earthly plane, the fifth, not element, but he represents all of that which is material, basically. That which ties us to these earthly bodies, our desires for things, our need for things in our world, our society, what it is we need to establish before we can express a deeper, true part of ourselves. Let's use this. Hopes and fears. This one. 5 swords. There was a battle. There was a conflict of sorts. You're picking out the pieces. You've won, in a sense. You wish to win, but you're having to pick up the pieces behind you from all that has happened. And the outcome. There's many cups to choose from, many dreams that you have, desires that you have, but take caution, because with all of these desires and dreams that you have, until you make the first move, until you make it more concrete to the universe and to yourself, all that it is that you want, these stay as dreams, these stay as illusions of daydreams. In some of the cups there is good things, in some of them there is less than good things. If you let life flow before you without any direction, those cups will be chosen for you, not by you. You need to take initiative and choose for yourself what it is that is best for you in your world. Got this huge Nordic one. Future, the Fool. Moving into something with joy, with abundance, with happiness, but with naivete. Speaks of this card. You let your emotions guide you, which is a good thing. They conjure up, they bring about your full imagination. And when you apply your imagination to your everyday world, good things can happen. Our emotions direct a huge part of our lives, just as much as our thoughts do, if not more so. But with this flow of life, with this flow of emotions, you have to be careful, you have to be grounded in a space of solid understanding of what you want. Otherwise, you will fall into that naive respect of not understanding what life is all about. I want to read the Swords card to you, which is your hopes and fears. You've got 2 swords, and you've got 2 pentacles, and 1 cup. The rest is major. I'll read the first sword to you, the querent, underneath here. A strange and powerful image suggests a more spiritual journey. Silence fills this card. Usually this card does not signify death, though it can indicate mourning, nor does it show transformation in the sense of death in the major arcana. Rather, it depicts a quiet passage through a difficult time. Wait says the fright is light. The swords do not weigh down the boat, though we carry our troubles with us when we have adapted them. On a simple level, it means functioning in some difficult situation without attacking the problems. Looking deeper, we see the image of a long sorrow. There is another less disturbing meaning, that of quiet passage physically. Certainly the literal meaning of a journey must not be forgotten, or spiritually, a time of easy transition. Notice the ferryman's pole. Black indicates potentiality, when nothing final has happened. All things remain possible. By staying calm, we waste neither energy nor opportunity. And the other swords. one of the most difficult cards, and one of the reasons why some people find the Rider pack too negative. And yet it mirrors a real situation that most people will experience at some time in their lives. While the fives show conflict or loss, swords carry this idea to the extreme defeat. Sometimes the meaning of the card will focus on the large figure in the foreground, the victor. More commonly, we identify with the two figures turned away. They have lost some battle, and now the whole world bears down on them. The water choppy, the sky jagged. Sense of humiliation as well as weakness goes with their defeat. The image of an enemy can refer to a person, to an overall situation, or an inner feeling of inadequacy. Once I did a reading for two people who had suffered at the hands of a disturbed and vengeful boss, and who now wanted to know if they should bring him to court. They decided against it when the Five of Swords indicated they would lose. Later, two other people did sue the man for the same kind of misconduct. They lost the case. The potential is there around you. This is how you feel, but around you. Oh, I need to read the page. I forgot that's the third sword. The page is interesting to come up. Around you is the potential, all the potential that you need in whatever situation it is you're facing right now. Oh, where is it? It's back here. I'm interested in this card. I haven't done the Page of Swords in a reading like ever, I think. A much lighter card than the other court swords. Yeah, I thought so. If the situation is one that calls for such an easygoing approach, then the Page's unattached attitude is very beneficial. But if a more difficult problem is involved, then the Page's practice becomes hard to maintain. It requires vigilance, to use the Wait's term, making sure that people or situations do not get too close. Much of the Page's energy goes to looking over his shoulder. As a somewhat aged student, Hamlet embodied the Page's attitude of observation and irony. The situation, however, called for the aggressive approach of the knight. Because of its detached quality, the Page can sometimes indulge himself in spying on people, either literally or figuratively, as an attitude of life to life. In other words, he may look on human life as a kind of curious spectacle, which he himself does not expect to take part. Bye, Phylum. Take care, my love. See ya. Thank you for the reading, for the donation, sorry. I'm happy to have given you a reading. So how we doing? Well, that's a lot of tarot information for one night. I hope it was useful. So yeah, it's super in depth, and I'm still learning how to read the cards, so yeah. I'm no expert by any means, but it's fun. It's really fun to just look at the cards and see what comes up in a moment. So I encourage you all to try it with anything. It doesn't have to be tarot. It can be anything. There's something to be said about just letting your instincts talk for themselves, you know, letting a feeling arise in you fully and express it through words. I don't think really when I do this. I just let it arise in me, whatever feeling comes up, and I just speak it. And it might not always be accurate, but when it is accurate, it's powerful, has power behind it. So that's something you can do with tarot. When you get a feeling for the cards, when you read them, you can unlock greater potential to understanding your deeper innermost feelings, I think. It's tapping into that subconscious. It's important. It's very useful. Hi, Faris. Well, if I haven't put you to sleep yet, then I don't know what will, really. Yeah, I love you all too. Thank you for being here, everyone. If there's any questions or anything, feel free to ask. Whatever you like. Who's still in New Zealand? No, JC. I came back from New Zealand. I think I left New Zealand in May this year. A long time ago. Yeah, should be. Once I write this reading down. Sure, yeah. Should be. Fingers crossed it'll save it. Yeah. Yeah. So here's our little... Should we do like a... If there's no more people who's wanting a reading, then maybe I'll do a closing goddess and god and goddess card for you. We had this one to start off our stream. She is Mother Earth. She is with me all the time. I feel her in my everyday world. Yeah, she's with me. I appreciate nature more than anything in my life, and so it makes sense to carry her with me every day. So it would be nice to do a final card, perhaps, for us all to think on when we leave this stream and go about our everyday lives again. Go to sleep or whatever it is you're going to be doing. Sorry about that. So he's pulling magnets. I need to get some mini ones. That one says Madeira. I used to make a point of buying magnets everywhere that I went in the world and bringing them back for my mum. A nice little way to remind myself of where I've been, but I haven't done that every time. Tunisia. I think we went to Tunisia. Or was my mum did. I can't remember if we did or not. I've certainly been blessed to be able to visit many countries in the world. So it's nice to have little memories of that. Teaches you a lot when you go travelling. Wales, like... I don't know. You got that one. That would have been my stepdad, probably. Scotland. This one's kind of cool. It says Anno 800 to 1000. You're welcome, Jeff. Take care, my love. How do you have the cost to travel? I don't know, JC. Everyone asks me this. I don't know. It's just something about... I don't know. don't know what it is, it's just in my character. I can't help but want to go to different places and not worry too much about what's going to happen there, because it works perfectly well for me. If I don't worry about the consequences or what may or may not happen, I just get on a plane and I just go, and it works out perfectly every time. So, well, I say perfectly. There's not really anything for me to worry about. I trust that things will work out well, and they always do, so I guess it's just having that trust. Hi, Rosie. Welcome back, Silent Love. Just taking advantage of the fact that this is supposed to be a pure ASMR stream. I have this. I love this. This was a gift from my roommate from years ago. I went to visit him at his university where he was working, and we went into this witchy, new agey shop, and I saw this and I was like, actually I saw the Empress version. Come to think of it. Oh yeah, because he's the opposite of... Yeah, he's the opposite of the Empress, and the High Priestess is the opposite of Hierophant, yeah. There was the Empress, and I looked at her and I was like, oh, I really like that. But he ended up getting me the Emperor one for Christmas, and I was super happy about it, because I'd never seen a plate like that to hold the tarot cards, so I thought that was super cool. And I cherish it because I haven't seen him in years, and yeah, he was a really good friend to me. I miss him a lot. Hi, Wolf Killer. Mike. Card for closing then, shall we? It's my pleasure. My pleasure. It's been fun. It's always a little bit different than Twitch. It's a lot more chill, I think, than Twitch. Not in a good or a bad way, just... Yeah, I don't know. Just feels different. Okay, let's see what god or goddess we get as a blessing for... Oh, goodness, my hair's mental tonight. As a blessing for closing. I didn't miss anyone out, did I? Hopefully I didn't. I have to get a bit of a better alert system next time. I need a wise bot in the chat. Excuse my stomach, I must be hungry or something, it keeps rumbling. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'll get wise bot to come in and like chat. I love the feel of these cards. They're really soft. Okay. Blessing for us, please. is that one, I think. Oh. Well, there was two, so I'll put the one that was on the top. Lord of Death. I don't remember that one. It's an interesting one. So it says, salutations to you, Yama, the Lord of Death, the Punisher who comes in the form of time. Salutations to the God of the law and the ultimate destroyer of all beings. Blessings are knowledge of the law, righteousness in action, overcoming the fear of death, steadfastness in the face of judgment. Is the ultimate one for us to overcome, I reckon. It relates to the video I did recently. Interesting looking card. It's beautiful. It's about overcoming that fear of death, people. That fear of judgment. Once you do that, you're free to be who you are in totality. Goddess and the god. And there you have it. Indeed, renewal and change. Sounds like Alan Watt. Magic mushrooms. I've heard of that, yeah, that they do. Some studies about it. Yu-Gi-Oh! So, hope you enjoyed this ASMR stream. I enjoyed it. It was really fun to be on YouTube for a change. Got no idea what that is. Can't throw sprouts or blame people. Wait, how many of you guys are from Twitch? Like, your names are so different that I don't know who you are on Twitch. Thank you for being here, Zimbao and everyone. Thank you so much. The poster. Oh, this one. Or which one? You mean this one? Those are chakras, and that my mum got for me from a temple, and it's a saying from the Dalai Lama. Okay, well it says never give up no matter what is going on. Never give up, develop the heart. Too much energy in your country is spent developing the mind instead of the heart. Develop the heart. Be compassionate, not just to your friends, but to everyone. Be compassionate, work for peace in your heart and in the world. Work for peace, and I say again, never give up, no matter what is happening, no matter what is going on around you. Never give up. yeah, so I usually stream 3 times a week on Twitch. I'm hoping though to do 1 stream a week on YouTube. I think I might make that a thing. Just to be able to chat tomorrow if you subscribe to me on here. And yeah, so I'm gonna have a look and see if I can, well, how much of the, let's do it now. I'll see how much of the goal we reached, because I'm really sad that didn't count up the amount. But what have we got? So I reckon I'm pretty close to reaching my fundraiser goal, and that's amazing. And as I say, I ordered a camera today, a really nice camera, and I want to buy a nice couple of lenses to go with it so that I can start making some of those ASMR documentaries in HD quality that I talked about. So yeah, just thank you to everyone who's supported me with that. That's just, I couldn't be more grateful to you for helping me with that and contributing towards something that's going to be seen by thousands of people. It's kind of bewildering to think about it, really. Even, as I say, this microphone or whatever it is that I use, your donations towards it gets to be shared amongst hundreds of people, and it's just a fabulous little community I have here on YouTube and on Twitch, and I feel supremely grateful for it every single day. So thank you to all of you who make that possible, just by being here with your presence and supporting me on any level. Just super grateful to you for that. And I hope that what I do can help you. I hope to spread this message of love, I guess, with as many people as I can. I feel immensely just happy in my life, and I want to be able to share tips with people and ways of coping with life's good and bad and happy moments and negative moments. I want to be able to share the things that I've learned along my journey that have helped me to be in the place that I'm at now. I think it's really important to do that, so yeah. Well, I don't need to host anybody because I'm not on Twitch. I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna read for a little while. As much as I'd love to read to you from the Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita, I think I've done enough reading for one night. How long has it been? 7, 8, 9? 3.5 hours. It's been a while. So good night, everybody. Thank you so much for your donations that will be put towards this fundraiser goal, and hopefully you'll be seeing the manifestation of it very soon. It's exciting. So good night, everybody. Sleep well. Peace, love, and light to you. Peace, love, and light. Good night. Good night, JC. Hello and goodbye, B. Good night, Hal. Good night, Mike. Good night, Sugar. Good night, Wolf. Good night, Cul-de-sac. Thank you. Fair enough, Derek. See you later, everyone.